So today we have Miss Geeta Mahapatra with us. Geeta is presently studying her BBA from Symbiosis Institute, Pune, and she is specializing in HR and marketing. Geeta is involved in a lot of co-curricular activities. She is a trained vocalist from A.R. Rahman Music Academy. Other than that, Geeta has also been awarded by the Australian High Commissioner for her passion for public speaking. Geeta was the runner-up in Junior Miss India contest in the year 2016 and 17, and she has recently won the title of Phoenix Fashion Icon. Geeta believes in being beauty with a purpose. Welcome to our YouTube channel Education View 360, Geeta.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for having me here.
Thank you, Geeta. So before we get into the details of your course, I would like to bring out a very common dilemma of students. After studying their 12th, they are generally confused about between doing their BBA or BCom. So what do you think? How should they be able to reach the right decision between the two courses?
Firstly, I think if you're confused, then it's supposed to be a good sign because it just shows that you have researched enough and you're looking for the right move, right? So even I was confused. And I think the answer lies in the fact of paying attention closely to your 12th standard subjects. For example, if you are an individual who is willing to explore, who wants to understand which field of management must be the right one for you, then BBA should be the option because it is a newly developed course as compared to BCom, which is a traditional course. The syllabus in BBA is very much updated and according to the recent industry procedures as compared to BCom. However, if you are somebody who has a family business, who is very much keen into getting a traditional bank job or a 9 to 5 job, or wants to get into company secretaryship or something like that, where you aren't a risk taker, then BCom is just the right course for you. However, whichever course you opt, I think instead of going for a general BBA or a general BCom, if you look for a value addition, say BCom honors or a BBA with a specialization, would be better in the long run. That's all.
All right, that's great. So, Geeta, my next question is, what are the lesser known facts about BBA course at Symbiosis Institute and how to prepare for Symbiosis entrance test as well as for the placement process?
Ma'am, so firstly, I'd like to say that SCMS Pune has been ranked number one for its placements in India from the past 3 years, and we've had companies like KPMG, PwC come for our placements. While placements are really good in the college, one thing I think where students miss out is that the early date of the set exam. So right after you give your 12th boards, students really want to have fun, and I understand that, but most of the times we miss out on the date of the set exam, which happens pretty early in May. So post which you have to give a GDPI, a written ability test, followed by an interview. That is the procedure of the BBA admission. And I think one unique feature about the BBA course at Symbiosis is that it offers a singular or dual specialization at the BBA level, which is mostly offered in a post-grad level. So that is one of the best features, which is why a lot of students are keen to join SCMS.
All right. And would you also want to talk a little bit about the placement process and how do you think students should prepare for that?
The placement, you're talking about the placement process in the college itself, campus
Yes,
placement?
yes, campus placement.
Ma'am, so in our college, how it works is we have a placement cell of which I was a part, wherein firstly students register for the placements, and according to the specialization, we give them an aptitude test followed by a CV building workshop. Then we get industry experts to actually talk about how you should speak in an interview, how do you make that impression, and followed by which we have companies on board. And every time a company comes on board, we have like a selection process where students apply. They're informed a month prior wherein they can prepare and come. The recruitment process varies from company to company according to the student policies, and at the end of which the results come to the college and the students are informed directly. However, the student is not allowed to directly communicate with the company, which is one holdback. So if there are any issues, the college is involved.
Now moving on to my next question, what are the various career options which are available to students once they complete their undergraduation in BBA?
So I'd like to say that BBA offers a very vast foundation for all of us. It prepares you to actually kind of explore and shift from one industry to the other. However, I think the key right now lies in the fact of understanding the digital alternatives for your traditional career. For example, if I am studying marketing and HR right now, I should be prepared to focus on diversing my field levels. I cannot focus on just this because in future it's highly unlikely that I'm going to land up in the job that I have been dreaming for all these years. So in such uncertain times, I think the digital alternatives, on-base demand jobs, or maybe freelancing is the future, definitely. So we need to look for digital alternatives and make up our minds to prepare for the same and understand and accept the fact that we have been given this time to accept the industry changes as compared to our seniors who have just been left there, you know.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Actually, this was my next question. I will still ask the question if you have anything to add on to it. So my next question is, since you are specializing in HR and marketing, as you said, so what should students do to improve their recruitment efficiency, especially post COVID-19?
So I was saying that these days everybody has access to the same degree, everybody has access to the same resources. So the real question lies in the fact as to why you should be selected and why shouldn't the other person who has the same degree not be qualified enough for the job. So when global giants are closing down, you know, with Zara closing down stores, with companies being declared bankrupt, what makes you think that traditional hiring is going to happen post COVID? I think the answer lies in branding yourself as a person, because I think everybody has a story. It's about how you sell yours. That's how it's going to work in post COVID. And personal branding, focusing on your CV, networking through modes like LinkedIn is very powerful in terms of being somebody who wishes to get a job in the corporate. So these are few points you need to take care of. Constantly updating your CV and look for adding new skills. Do not add skills like multitasker or, you know, marketing. Those are not skills. You have graduated with marketing, we understand. So you have to add skills like, you know, leadership. You have to always read the job description carefully and alter your CV so that when we filter your CVs, your CV comes as a top selector by the computer itself, because nobody manually selects CVs, you know. That's what I like to say.
Very right. I think you have echoed my thought as well. Personal branding is going to play a very important role because you really cannot depend on the giant companies to always ensure your safety and your job. Correct. So, Geeta, now you are also very heavily involved in a lot of co-curricular activities into music and fashion and public speaking. So, my next question to you is, which is also my last question, that are extracurricular activities really extra, or they can be treated as a part of blended learning?
I think some of the most common statements or, you know, dialogues we've been hearing while we've been growing up is that, you know, do not waste time on doing all these things. Do not, you know, focus on your academics. Don't, you know, go out wasting your time playing or maybe learning music. Dance is not going to, you know, be of any value in the future. So this is something that the Indian context has been teaching the students. So we talk about skill building, but when you do not allow your student, your child to actually indulge themselves, amplify their skills, how do you think they are going to, you know, develop as an individual? For example, if you are interested in music, it amplifies your listening skills, right? And when you do that, you're able to communicate better. If you dance, you're able to analyze things better. If you are into drama, you can understand and portray yourselves in the best version. So these skills help you in the future, in the long run, you know. So I do not think that calling these things extra really should be the thing. It should be a part of the curriculum, and teachers, most importantly, and parents should support the student to understand and build these skills. This is all what I'd like to say.
That's great. So that's a very important message for parents to understand that they have to allow their children to explore, and in the process of exploration, a lot of learning happens. So thank you so much, Geeta, for coming to our YouTube channel. Children, stay tuned. We are going to get you more such insights into a lot of more courses.